Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to tonight's Beauty Talk Tuesday. Tonight we're going to be talking about the benefits of collagen, and I'm going to be welcoming in Dr. Elyse Tursi, who's going to be joining me in this conversation. And I'm just going to wait for her to pop up so I can add her into the live, and then we can chat. So I want you guys to come with any questions that you have, any concerns about collagen tonight. And we are going to do a deep dive in the benefits of using it. So just bear with me. I'm waiting for her to join in. I hope you guys had the opportunity to actually see the other benefits of collagen that I did, which was kind of like an intro to tonight's video. And here she is. I'm going to add her right in. Okay. So how's everyone doing tonight? Here we go. We have Dr. Tursi on the call.
Oh, I forget that it like chops your head off when you are.
I know. I'm backing myself up a little bit.
Me too. I feel like I'm right there in everyone's face. Let me back up a little bit. There we go.
Well, you're okay. I see you. You're good. I think we're both in the frame.
Perfect. Perfect. I see you too. You're in the frame as well. Hi.
Hello. How's everything going?
Everything's going good. Busy day. Everything's going good. I don't know if you're prepared or if you've heard about, we're supposed to get a massive snowstorm coming our way.
I know. I'm hoping we don't. Like, I hope it's not too bad. But then I know my son's like, I hope we do. I want some snow. So it's like, it's bittersweet.
It's the holidays. I feel like if it's gonna snow, now is the time to do it.
It's true. Now is the time. Let's get that Christmas vibe going, that holiday vibe going. So
yeah. So
okay. So
be here.
I know. So I want to introduce all of my followers watching to Dr. Tursi. So a little backstory is I actually found social media. And I have to say, social media is such a powerful tool for us to have. Because that's how I found this amazing gem, by hearing other women speak about how fantastic she was with their needs. And then I followed her and I found out all her information about the thyroid, and you have been such a blessing for me. So I love telling everyone about you. But so Dr. Tursi is a functional medicine doctor. I'm going to have her take it away and introduce yourself to everyone, Dr. Tursi.
It's so true, Josephine. I feel like nowadays social media is such a great platform to be able to connect with people and really find what you're looking for, like really hone in on what you're looking for. So I'm so happy. I don't know actually which platform it was, maybe Facebook, but I'm happy we were able to
think it was Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook usually. I usually am in some of like the Crunchy Moms groups or like the Long Island Moms groups, but absolutely. So I practice functional medicine here in Garden City, which is in New York, Long Island, for those of you guys that are watching. And really it's a way for people that might be viewing this that are like, what is functional medicine? It's a way to look at everything collectively. So we like to look at everything collectively. I think a lot of people now are starting to really connect the dots, how one thing in our body is so connected to another thing. So our thyroid, you know this, I know you know this, from just, learning all about this. And it's so cool to hear my women speak back and tell me, oh, I know my adrenals, oh, my thyroid, but everything is very connected. And so when we look at more functional medicine, we're looking at the cross kind of references for the whole body and how things are very interconnected. We want to go to the root. We want to go to the root cause of where did this problem start from and who are the players involved with it. So that's really what I do. I help people with all sorts of kooky things, skin rashes, gut issues, skin things. I know being in the beauty realm, you probably have people that might ask you like, what is this little patch or what is this little thing? And I know your answer is probably likely comes from the gut, which is very true. But anything you might potentially go see a doctor for, I would probably treat some of the similar things, but in a more holistic fashion. So it's really like maybe you have an ache or a pain, maybe you have a skin rash, maybe you have an autoimmune condition. It's just a different philosophy or a different version of healing. You can think of it that way.
And you like to get to the root cause of the problem, right, Dr. Tursi, with the extensive blood work that you do?
Yes, absolutely. And for a lot of women that are dealing with thyroid issues, and I know you're aware of this, but thyroid issues are never really thyroid issues. The problem shows up in the thyroid gland, but it's not really a problem in the thyroid gland. It's usually a problem somewhere else in the body. And so that's exactly the point, that we have to go almost like Inspector Gadget. I put on my little Inspector Gadget hat and I'm thinking, where could this problem be coming from? Is it coming from ovaries? Is it coming from the pituitary gland? Is it coming from liver health? Is it coming from malabsorption, gut issues? Is it lack of collagen? Is it lack of dietary nutrients? So we really go down the rabbit hole to try to figure out the why.
Beautiful. So I'm so glad that you had said all this, and to my followers that are watching now, and if you're catching the replay, just know that she is so talented and so informative and can help you, you know, depending on what your situation is. She's a wealth of information. And I'm excited. I'm excited to actually talk about collagen tonight, and the benefits of it, even though I did a little snippet earlier in the week, last week. But I'm excited to discuss it because I get this question a lot. And I, being in the beauty industry, I happen to find that collagen is a great nutritional supplement to add to your daily regimen. Now, there's tons of different ones on the market, but I like it because it helps with repair the gut, or helps working on the gut, but it also helps with glowing skin. And my biggest factor here is I'm always trying to help women about, you know, getting their skin to optimal level, for optimal performance, so that the makeup can just lay so beautiful on their face. And it really all starts with the skin. And there's a huge factor in this that I always discuss as well. But for me, I've been using collagen peptides, other collagens too, but I've kind of gravitated towards this for years because I feel it works well for me. But again, I know there's different sources, like you had mentioned, and I guess that's maybe where we should start. So what are your thoughts? Let's get started with saying, like, okay, so what are your thoughts about collagen? Is it a pro? Is it a con? Is it beneficial? What do you feel, Dr. Tursi?
Yes, that's a really good question too. And for those of you guys that might be following me and not Josephine, if you wouldn't mind just for a few minutes, will you share a little bit about your background too? Because I think that people are gravitating towards you because obviously you're so beautiful and you have glowing skin, but can you share with them a little bit about how you approach skincare and makeup in the cosmetic realm, but from a holistic fashion? Because that's the twist. Not everyone does that. Not everybody in the makeup industry, they're really interested in the products and the quality. Would you mind just sharing a little bit about yourself for people that might be new on my channel that will view this, on what your connection is to like health,
Sure.
but with beauty? I think they probably want to know, like, how did you get involved with all this holistic stuff if you do some of the more makeup cosmetic things?
Absolutely. So I've been in the beauty industry for over 17 years now. I got certified in makeup back in 2003. And, you know, it was just, I just loved beauty. And throughout the course of the years, I did so many deep dives in the beauty industry and makeup, and it was great. But there was this whole unknown world to me. And it was all about, you know, non-toxic or toxin-free, you know, organic makeup, clean makeup. And I really never dabbled into it because I just didn't understand it. Like, I was like, oh, all makeup is created equal. Well, I really didn't understand this part. And then about 4 to 6 years ago, somewhere around there, I really started educating myself on it. I picked up a book and I was actually learning about endocrine disruptors. And I had no idea at how many terrible, terrible ingredients are lurking in our beauty products and our skincare products. Now, I also have a background in healthcare with reconstructive surgery. So that actually helped me a lot to help people, you know, topically with what works and what doesn't. But then when I did this dive into this endocrine disruption and information, it was fascinating to see that, you know, the beauty industry has not been regulated since 1938. And we have all these requirements on like other things, but not the beauty industry. And there are a lot of really bad ingredients in makeup and skincare that can cause not only disruption topically on the skin, but internally to the body. So that was one factor, okay? And then I started doing deep dives in clean makeup, but that performed well. So, you know, there are a lot of clean beauty brands on the market, but they don't all perform really, really well. And that was like my target. I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to start using this, then I have to start testing things out to see what's gonna, you know, what's gonna work. In addition to that, though, I have always been an advocate of health and wellness and how you eat. So you are what you eat. And a big factor that I have learned through the past 17 years is that if you're going to go and eat, you know, tons of sugar-laden lattes and, you know, treats and high doses of dairy and sugar in your foods, you know, your gut really. And the second component to your gut, I mean, in addition to the brain and everything else with our organs, but the largest organ on your body is your skin. And if your skin does not look good, it's a really big indication of what's happening inside of the gut. So that's one of the factors. But so I always try to educate everyone on here, you know, because I want everyone to look good, you know, even whether I'm doing their makeup or not. I want them to look good. I want them to feel confident. But I also feel that if you're not happy with whether it's acne, rosacea, fine lines, wrinkles, dull skin, you know, you just don't feel like it's vibrant, we have to also take a look at what's going on in your diet every day. And, you know, we could work on it topically. I love doing like essential oils topically because they work phenomenal to help the skin. And you don't have to go to like a main beauty store and spend $300-400 on a product that has terrible, terrible ingredients in it. We could start with just one drop of essential oil and start the process that way. But then I always do a deeper dive internally and I'll say, take a look at what you're eating. That's why I bring up the collagen, because I find that it's an easy supplement for people to take in their diet. Like they'll be more dedicated to throw a scoop of collagen peptides in their coffee every day. And at least we get them started on some type of process. So that's just a little background. I could keep going on and on. I don't want to bore everybody with this stuff.
No, you're not at all.
I hope
no,
that
so
was
true.
enough.
That was so helpful because I think people sometimes want to know, wait, like what's the connection between the makeup and the health? There's so much connection between the two. Same thing, collagen. You know, collagen by default, you'll find it in a lot of like more aesthetic beauty compound, that world, but you'll also find it in the health and wellness world. So it's got like this cool duality between health, aesthetics, wellness. It's kind of like a nice blend, but collagen is something that a lot of people are familiar with. It's not one of those compounds that's like, wait, what's that? Like glutathione, for example. People sometimes perk their ears up. They're like, I've never heard of that. Collagen, something a lot of people know about. They've heard about it. I think because some of the other more functional medicine people in the bigger realm of things are sharing some awareness. But so you brought up a extremely good point that everything that's on the outside of our body, whether it's rashes or skin manifestations, it's coming from within. And so we have to look with really what's going on inside. We have to look within to see what's happening. Why are you having rash skin manifestations? Why are you having jawline acne? Why are you having very dry, cracking skin that's peeling and flaking? So we want to look there. But when we talk about collagen from like an internal perspective, it helps a lot with supporting skin, joints, bone structure. Now, really all it is, and a lot of times I get this question with people wanting to know, is this a good product? Is this, you know, beneficial? Collagen is protein. So getting a little bit of the foundation, what is collagen first? Collagen is just a specific, it's 3 amino acids. So when we look at what makes up collagen is this massive molecule. It's actually 1,400 amino acids. Basically, you're combining the alphabet to make this massive molecule, which we call a word. Collagen is basically 3 specific amino acids. It's called proline, hydroproline, and glycine. Those are the amino acids that make collagen. Collagen is protein. That's really what it is. Collagen is protein. It's a specific blend of amino acids that create a protein, and that protein has jobs within the body. So we take collagen because we think, oh, well, I've heard of it for joints, for skin, for hair. All of that's very true, but to be very realistic, it's just protein. So I have women, for example, that come in, we do a dietary recall, they're only eating 20 grams of protein, they want to know, should I be adding collagen in? And I always say, heck yes. It's just another source or another way for you to get protein coming in. And that's what we need. There's a metabolic need for protein, not from like a body composition standpoint of the external skin, but also the internal skin. So collagen, you'll actually find it inside of our body. There's many different types. There's actually 7 different types of collagen. There's 28 different derivatives of that, but there's different versions. Mostly humans, we are mostly type 1 collagen. We don't find that on packages. So some people ask me when I explain this, they're like, but I don't see it says, you know, this version. They typically don't share with you what type of version is in the collagen powder. Some of them do. Some of them say this product contains type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just have to know that each of the types of collagen have different areas that they target in the body, but they all have a very similar job. Think of collagen like gel. It's adhering things, it's gluing things together, it's sticky. So we need that because that's how we repair bone tissue. That's how we repair some of the digestive system lining. We actually confuse the lining if there's microperforations like leaky gut. You benefit even with the skin. So people that are dealing with fine lines and wrinkles, why does collagen work? Because it's going to basically bridge the wrinkle. It's going to bring the skin back together. So think of it as like sticky glue, but the glue is in different parts of the body. It can be inside the bone tissue. It can be inside the teeth. Collagen could be inside skin. We actually have a lot of collagen inside of our skin. And something that's a little bit alarming, and for your industry, the beauty industry, we lose 1% of our collagen every single year after age 20. So a massive amount of our collagen starts to decrease with age. And that's really where people start to wonder about the supplementation. They're like, my skin is not as tight. It's not as firm. Think of collagen. It's adhering, it's gluing, it's gelling things together. If we're breaking collagen down with sunlight, you know, being overexposed to UVA, UVB rays, if we're not getting a good diet, if we're not consuming adequate protein, if we're eating sugar, sugar actually blocks collagen from being able to be formed. So diets that are very high in refined sugar, it's not ironic sometimes that people say, well, I eat really, really bad. You can tell a lot by someone's health just by looking at their skin and looking at their eye whites or their sclera. You get a lot of information about their health just from a physical perspective. But collagen is really something that we want to use. And a lot of people, I know you had mentioned too, they want to know, like, should I take collagen? It's not really a yes or no, answer. Really, it depends on if your gut is able to process it. So we always go back to the concept of just because you put something in your body doesn't mean you own it. And it's almost like the analogy I was just going to ask you that. Yes. It's like, imagine I send you an Amazon package. You have this package. Here's my gift. What if I can't open it? Well, who cares then? You don't get to use it. So that's really the point about collagen is people want to use all the supplements. We don't know if it's bioavailable if there's gut issues.
Yeah. And that's a really important takeaway for the next thing that I wanted to ask you. And then I would love for you to just elaborate a little bit on that. So again, I do always recommend going back to the gut. Especially when we start working topically on some things that are working very well for my clients. And then I'll say, okay, well, let's do a little bit of a deeper dive and take a food journal for 7 days. Let's take a look at what you're eating every day and be honest, just be honest. I really don't care if you're having a unicorn latte every day. It will be a indicator for me to know that this is why you have, a lot of, breakouts over here, or you're flushed in your skin, or we're having some other issues. And then the second thing I'll tell them is, well, let me know if your bowel movements are happening every day. And if they're not, we have an issue here because you got to get rid of all that toxicity that's built up. That's got to come out. And I know it's not the best of conversations, but it's something that needs to be addressed in order to bring forth the best skin possible, because we have to work on that. So my next question is then, and then I would love for you to touch base on the gut. Does it matter what type of collagen you use? So I get a lot of questions. I've been using powders for years, so it's just been easy for me. But I know that there has been a lot of hype right now over liquid collagen versus powder collagen. There's like all this conversation about it. And I do get questions about this a lot in my DMs. And I always said, no, it doesn't matter. But I figured, why don't you answer that? Because when I look at the ingredients in both, they're extremely similar. So for me, that's why I was like, I really don't think it matters. But you brought something up when we were chatting about this. So anyway, does liquid matter? Is liquid better than powder? Is powder better than liquid? What's your opinion on that?
That's a good question. I think that there's this kind of notion that liquids are always better because they're liquid, they're easier to digest. That's not always true. There really is no difference between liquid or between powdered versions of collagen. The one thing that makes it a little bit more like, what is something that makes it, you know, which one do I choose if I'm between 5 different brands? You want to look at the type of collagen that's in there. So there's usually different types. For example, there's hydrolyzed collagen, there's peptides, collagen peptides, and then there's hydrolysate collagen. So there's a couple different versions, and each of them, it just means how big or small the collagen molecule is. So it doesn't matter liquid, you know, liquid versions of collagen. It doesn't matter liquid to powder. There's no one that's better than the other. What matters more, if someone said, what's a more profound thing I should be looking for, what is more applicable to me to look at, it's the type of collagen that you're getting, because the collagen, like we said before, it's the glue, but it's a really big molecule. 13, imagine like this, and I know it's hard to envision this, but a letter. So the letter THE, it's only 3 letters that makes up the letters. Well, collagen is 1,300 letters to make up a word. It's a large molecule. So the form of collagen is more important than the actual delivery of, is it liquid or is it powder? We'd like hydrolyzed collagen. You'll find that on a lot of different types of collagen powders. It just means that it's been processed a little bit. It's been broken down into like little baby pieces, little baby words, if you will, rather than a massive, huge word. That's a little bit more bioavailable. Now, the reason, interestingly enough, that they do this, they're trying to help you get the product by making it smaller. But the caveat there is they can make it as small as they want. They can make it 3 amino acids in length. But if your gut is not healthy, it doesn't matter. So you can say, I spent $50 on this top quality collagen. It's hydrolyzed. It's not really refined. There's no fillers. It's the most bioavailable. You're really only getting the bioavailability if your body's bioavailable. So in terms of liquid, powder, no, there's no like, oh, this is the one that's going to be the end all be all. But the form of the collagen, that's a little bit more interesting, because there are different ways that they prep the collagen to deliver it into the human body. But there again, what's the step underneath that? You can put the most bioavailable product in a body that's very unbioavailable, and they won't get any of it. Their absorption capacity might only be 5% because they're bloated, they have acid reflux, they have bile reflux, their bowels aren't moving. Sometimes too, autoimmune conditions that are collagen based, they are burning through collagen. So for example, arthritis, they're burning through so much collagen, so they need a higher amount. They're not going to absorb the same load as someone that might just normally put collagen in. So, are you processing it as step 1? And then how much do you, the person, actually need depending on underlying conditions? Maybe there's a condition happening that's stealing your collagen, that's taking your cartilage from your joints. Sometimes rheumatoid arthritis can be one of those conditions, any type of psoriatic arthritis. We're breaking the joints down. You probably need even more collagen, but are you getting it if the gut's not healthy? So we always go back to the concept of, I share this with all products. This is not just for collagen, but for any product. You're only able to really get the benefit if you're able to be very bioavailable, as if the organs are saying, I can recept this, I can put this in the tissue, I can get it into the cells. Because if we can't do that, it's null and void. You're going to just actually excrete collagen in the urine.
Wow, that's interesting. That's really, really interesting. So yeah, so then again, we go back to the gut and how important it is to, again, take care of the gut, because that's going to be what's going to help us with the skin, plus absorbing the nutrients from the collagen. So our gut can be in a really bad shape, and we're taking it, whether it's liquid or powder, because we're not even getting the benefits because we have so many issues with our gut. So again, it goes back to taking care of the gut, which is important. I just lost my AirPods, so I just used my son's AirPods because I didn't want a whole string here. And this is like all new to me. Okay.
I never know if they should face this way or like in the ear. I never know.
I don't know. He's like, don't worry, Mom, just put them in. You'll be fine. Okay. So then next thing that we could touch base on is, so whether you have issues with acid reflux or bloating, obviously bloating is a big factor. I always hear, I'm very bloated, certain foods bother me. I try to help them, again, food journal, elimination, maybe try paleo, maybe try, Whole30, try something that we can start to eliminate some of the bad stuff and see where it's coming from when we reincorporate it. But so what is your advice about the gut and how to help? I mean, I know it's a very wide range, but in order to make sure that we're absorbing the nutrients from the collagen, what would be your advice for that? Like working on the gut, what would be your advice for that as well? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of like a catch-22, if you will, because collagen does help to repair the gut. So if someone's having gut issues and they're like, I'm going to just take collagen powder for my skin, they're kind of indirectly doing a good thing because they are helping seal off some of their digestive system. So that is always a good thing. I want to bring something up too, because a lot of people will ask, they're like, but what's the difference between collagen and collagen powder or liquid version and gelatin? Like, what's the difference? Because a lot of people are like, oh, bone broth doesn't have collagen in it, and I heard I should be drinking that. Gelatin is just the cooked form of collagen. They're very, very similar molecules. So if you ever find gelatin, you'll see that. And the word gelatin,
Which I have
it's
it
congealing.
actually. This is the one I use when I'm making like some puddings or something. I use the gelatin to help me make that stuff.
So the gelatin is more for when you're actually baking things or heating things up, or it's got a little bit of a different melting point, a different heat point. So yes, people sometimes want to know about that, And another thing I just want to bring up, because some people also ask about this from a collagen perspective. They're like, but where am I getting collagen? So let's just say I'm buying this powder or this liquid and it's collagen. Like, where is it coming from? It's usually coming from an animal source. So I just want to bring that up because there's a lot of people out there that I work with that are vegans. You can get vegetarian sources of collagen, but they're very difficult to find. They're typically not like in a lot of stores unless you're specialty ordering it, but you're getting collagen from animal sources. So you're typically going to get collagen, whether it's from fish, you're going to get collagen from bovine, you're going to get collagen from beef collagen. So people, when they look at the actual, Vital Nutrients brand or Dr. Axe brand, Ancient Nutrition brand, Vital Proteins brand, whatever it is, they're looking and they're saying, oh, this says hydrolyzed beef. I don't want beef. And then they pick up another one. Oh, this one says hydrolyzed chicken. I don't want chicken. You're going to find that it's a little bit difficult to get sources of collagen that are more vegan, because by default, collagen is protein, and most proteins that contain those amino acids are derived from animal sources. So I just want to kind of share that because some people get a little confused. And I know even when I'm working with people that they just want to be vegan. That's just their goal. They're like, I don't want to have any animals in my diet. Well, sometimes they're not really noticing that those are secret sources of animal things, because collagen is namely sourced from animals. Sometimes even pharmaceutical drugs they're basing those pharmaceuticals, some of them come from all sorts of weird things, animal based. So just a little side note with the collagen there, you really want to make sure that if you're looking for a different, if you're looking for a vegan, you're going to have to seek it out. Now, sometimes people will ask me too, what's better? Do I get chicken? Do I get hydrolyzed beef? Like, which one would be better for me? The answer is really, it's a little bit different. I always recommend variety, because it's kind of like if someone's eating chicken and beef, they look entirely different from an amino acid perspective. Amino acids are just the little baby building blocks that make the protein, that make the collagen, if you will. But there is really no better version of it. I always say variety. So if you're going to buy collagen, it doesn't matter liquid, it doesn't matter powdered. What I do recommend though is switch it up a little bit, because chicken amino acid collagen looks different than beef amino acid collagen, and they cross link a little bit different. So variety is always a key for that that perspective as well. So a lot of variety with chicken, beef, however you want to source it. That's something to be mindful of with, buying it. But the thing that you were mentioning that was very, very valid, Josephine, and really kind of diving into the gut health, what can you do? You can start with taking collagen. That's not a bad start place. You might just not be absorbing 100% of it, which is okay, but it does help with digestive health. It does help with gut health. Definitely the diet piece. I think even before you start to clean the organs, the diet piece is going to be such an important factor because sugar literally stops collagen from growing. So let's just say collagen is trying to, be made in our body. We make our own collagen as humans. Let's say I'm trying to make my collagen. Well, I'm eating a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs. I don't make a lot of collagen. Then I stop that process, that collagen from forming. And it's not really abnormal for people that aren't super healthy to look a little bit more aged. They just look aged. They have a little bit more defining features from like an aesthetic place that they're like, they look a little bit aged and maybe they're dealing with a little bit of weight issues. That's not accident by accident. It's because they're breaking down collagen further than someone else when you're eating a lot of sugar. So that's one really great recommendation, really keeping sugar down. That's a huge thing for everything, for viral infections, for thyroid dysfunction. That's across the board for anybody that's like, I don't know where to begin. Go purchase a collagen. It doesn't matter, liquid, powder. You can get chicken or beef, whichever one you prefer. Hydrolyzed would be fine. There's many different versions. You can get the peptide versions as well. Either of those, they're all a little bit different, but they're very similar. Start there and then really see where you're at. But that is a great start place for gut health, is single digit sugar, dropping the sugar levels down, because by default, we're depleting our collagen production in our skin and our elastin. And when we eat really, really poorly, we actually can visibly see it in someone's face and their skin.
Oh yeah. I can tell right away when I'm working with someone, and I will never insult anyone. I'll just, if it comes up in conversation, they start speaking to me about skincare, I can tell, usually one of the first things I tell them is, well, tell me what you eat every day. And if I see it's like high carbs, a lot of gluten, dairy is involved, and sugar, or one of those three, I know that's a lot, and it's so bad for the gut anyway. So for those that are watching on here that hear me rant and rave on my stories, I'm always saying no gluten, dairy, corn, or soy. No gluten, dairy, corn, or soy.
We should
Stay
make
off of it.
song.
Yeah, because there's such inflammatory foods. And it's funny because for a very long time, I was actually off of grains too, and like even quinoa and certain things. And I remember when I first started seeing you a year and like 4 months ago, you were like, well, I want you to start bringing them in slowly. It's okay to have some. I'm like, all right. And, and that was a big turning point for me too, adjusting my diet, even though I hate saying diet because it really should be just like healthy eating. And when we make these tweaks, and I tell everyone, be kind to yourself, but maybe we can start by eliminating one thing, maybe you can try and cut back on the dairy, if that's an easy one for you, whichever one is easy. I'm all or nothing. So if I'm going in, I'm doing it all. I'm taking everything out. But going back to the gut, and I know for those that are watching on here that have never met with you, I know that you have a background in enzyme therapy because you work on healing the organs that need help. And I would love for you to touch base on that a little bit because I do think that people need to know about this. I think it's pretty fascinating because you have helped me a lot with my adrenals, and the thyroid as well. But I remember when I first saw you, my adrenals were really out of whack. We worked with your enzymes to really help with that, and it made a huge difference. So you take it away on that stuff too.
Yeah, the enzymes, you're bringing up such a good point. And it's true, when you're making lifestyle changes, I know sometimes watching these types of videos myself, I watch things when I'm trying to learn, and it's just like, where do I start? Like with the oils, I got your email and I was just like, I don't even know where to start. There's so much information, but don't overcomplicate it. So I agree with that with the diet piece. Like pick one thing. If you're like, you know what, where do I go? I could take out dairy. I could take out gluten. I could take out sugar. Like, where do I start? Just start somewhere. Don't you know, paralysis by analysis where we don't make a change because we don't know where to start. Pick one thing. So exactly, I think that's a really great little friendly
And
tool
and
that
that's
if you're
why I
watching
kind of
this.
like collagen too for everybody, because it's an easy supplement for them. I mean, we could come back to this, but like with the vital proteins for me, it's just easy. I just throw a scoop in, like it's just an easy thing that I know I can dedicate to myself. And I know a lot of my clients on here, my followers, would dedicate to themselves because it's super easy, you know. So I always, anyway, just wanted to say, like, go slow,
It
you
is.
know, don't.
It's a great supplement for someone to say, I don't know where to start, but I think I should be taking a couple supplements. It's a great supplement. And it goes well with things because it's flavorless, it's tasteless, it's
Yes.
white. You don't even know it's in your coffee. You wouldn't even know. Maybe a little bit of a different texture because remember, it tries to congeal things, tries to kind of bring things in, but people typically have no clue. It makes for great baking. When you bake with collagen, it makes things congeal a little bit better. So I agree with that too, Josephine. I think that if anyone is watching this, could they take collagen? Yes. Now, the bioavailability, I know we talked about that being a little bit different, but somebody might be 100%. That doesn't mean you need to be 100%. Maybe right now there's some digestive things going on. You're absorbing 50%, but that's still 50% more than you had prior. So, you know, you over time, as you fix the gut issues, you get a little bit more bioavailable. But collagen is such a quick, easy supplement to add in, especially if you're a female and you're not getting enough dietary protein. So actually, Josephine, if you wouldn't mind just sharing, so you have that one. What does it say for protein? How many grams of protein per that one? I'm just curious to know.
So in here, it's 18 grams of protein for 2 scoops, but it has the collagen peptides is 20 grams, and it comes from bovine. So protein is 18, and collagen peptides is 20 grams, and then it tells you the amino acid profile on the side.
Yes,
So
exactly, exactly. So all of the amino acids, they base pair a little bit different to make up a collagen, but that's exactly it. So that's a great source. 18 grams of protein per 2 scoops. That's a really great way to get your dietary protein. And I know people have this kind of, like I said before, a little bit of a preconceived thought around what protein does for the body. It's for just building your body up aesthetically. No. Protein is carrying around all your sex hormones. Protein is how your thyroid hormone moves into the body. It's more than just hair, skin, and nails. Obviously, that is protein and collagen and keratin and elastin. But we do have a metabolic need, especially as females, for protein. So 2 scoops, 18 grams, that is perfect to add in. So definitely start with the collagen. Now, to get back to your question about enzymes. So enzymes, I actually just posted for people that are watching a new YouTube video about this topic. It's all about what are enzymes, because I feel like I reference them a lot, but a lot of people are like, but you never talk about what they are. So actually my mom said that. So I made a little video for her, for everybody,
I
just to
think
kind of
she's
get a little
watching
bit of
with us.
comfortability. She did what?
I I think she's watching with us because I saw her hop
Oh,
on,
she
I
is
think
watching? Okay,
before.
so hopefully say
Yeah, I
hello,
saw her
Margaret, to us.
name. Yeah. And you guys, for those of you that are
Probably watching.
watching now, or you're going to catch the recording, as we're speaking, just ask any questions that you guys like. If you have any comments, please just pop in. This is what we're here for tonight, is to, shed some light on all of this. But go ahead, Dr. Tursi, continue.
We want to be interactive, definitely.
Yes.
But so I made a little video on YouTube about this, about what are enzymes. Enzymes are the reason we're alive. If we didn't have enzymes, we would all be dead. Enzymes are literally metabolically active, and there's tons of enzymes. Interestingly enough, enzymes are protein. So there again, we need protein. My women know that. They're like, let me guess, Dr. Tursi, you're going to tell me I need more protein. Yes, I am, because protein makes up a lot of our health. And it definitely, so enzymes, think of them like little baby Pac-Man. They go inside the organ. So maybe you have an enzyme that goes in, let's just say the liver. They go inside the liver and they clean the tissue. So they're like, okay, that's garbage, put that there. That's waste. We need to save that for later. They're like, think of like a mom in the family that's like, you need to go there. You've got soccer at 4. We got to clean up. That's the enzyme. It's doing the metabolic work.
I love
It's
that.
repairing the tissue.
That
It's
was such a
literally
great
governing.
analogy. I love
It's the
that.
mom. Yeah. Enzymes are the moms. They're like, you need to go there, blah, 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 blah. They're governing what's happening. And each organ has its own enzymes. So the liver, for example, has its own set of enzymes, its own set of jobs with those enzymes. A lot of times we're enzyme deficient. And really the reason why is we don't eat from the earth the way that we did. So in a perfect world where everybody can eat from Mother Earth. The soil has enzymes. The food, raw food, very enzymatically alive. But a lot of people have digestive issues. They can't really tolerate raw food. It's very bloating for them. They feel very distended from raw food. So enzyme deficiencies kind of naturally evolve. It's not about doing something wrong. Sometimes people get concerned. They're like, am I enzyme deficient because I did something wrong? No, it's just the quality of our life. It's the way our lives are, that we don't eat from Mother Earth. We don't eat from the soil. We're not getting the same amount of enzymes that we should have been years ago. And we don't get enough phytonutrients. We don't get enough vegetables. So by default, that can make us enzyme deficient in and of itself. And then we add that with complicating factors like autoimmune conditions or damage to the organs. For example, maybe I'm drinking too much. My liver enzymes go way through the roof. They really start to crank out their product. So enzyme deficiency is something that can happen in each organ because they have their own enzymes. If someone's enzyme deficient, we kind of want to go into their body and figure out where the organ is deficient. So for you, Josephine, I remember when we looked at some lab work, we saw the adrenal hormones, your DHEA, the cortisol were really, really elevated. We put you on an enzyme for the adrenals to just repair. Now, the cool thing about enzymes, they are repairing tissue. So it's not like, oh, I have to stay on this thing forever. No, they go in. Mom cleaned up the room. Mom told us what we needed to do. Everything's fine. The laundry's done. The kitchen's cooked. Kitchen's done. Food is cooked. Everything is done. We can leave now. So it's not like creating reliance, where sometimes supplementation, there's a little bit of reliance because your body stops producing what you get. When you get something, the body energetically, it likes to conserve its resources. So it will not go through the process. Like, for example, melatonin. We make melatonin. If someone's going to take melatonin every single night, their body's going to start to say, I'm not making this. You're going to give it to me. So long term, they're a little bit more reliant on having to use supplements. People know this that are on SSRIs. They take serotonin in an antidepressant. We look in their blood work, it's null and void. They have no serotonin left. Why? It's because your body wants to conserve its resources. It's not going to make it. It's like, why go to work if someone's going to fill your bank account with money? So that's where we run into a little bit of concern with certain supplements. Not all of them are like that, but certain supplements. And then also the bioavailability. So because enzymes, they eat away at things, they can go into cells. Supplements sometimes can't saturate the cell. They'll meet a cell, here's a supplement, and it sits on top of the cell. Enzymes are going in because they're going to eat away. Okay. And because enzymes are so innate in us, they're in all of our tissue, the body recognizes them as, you can come in, we like you, you're a friend, we know what you look like. Supplements, some of the compounds in them we don't recognize. So the body sometimes is not really able to process things that sometimes it doesn't recognize. It looks at it as like a foreign invader or not bioavailable. So enzymes, think of it just like repairing tissue. That's their job. They really help to repair tissue. And there's tons of enzymes. There's metabolic enzymes, lymphatic enzymes. I know a lot of people have heard of digestive enzymes. That's only one category. There's 7 different categories of enzymes.
Yeah, it's funny because with the oils there is a digestive enzyme, but it's a little different than obviously the enzymes that you do. And that is actually one product I will help my clients with if they're having issues with bowels and or they're eating a lot of gluten. What I like about it is it goes in and it eats away what's happening in the intestines that's blocking it. And it helps open it up. And then they'll have normal bowel movements in the morning. So that obviously is totally different from what you do in terms of organ help with the other enzymes. But bringing up digestive enzymes, I do like them. And I think they really work for me. They've always worked well through the years. And having an autoimmune issue with Hashimoto's, I mean, I can eat super clean. And I'll just be very honest over here. I mean, if I do not have the proper enzyme or help that I need, my bowel movements will not be regular. And again, that comes from the gut, the connection with the thyroid to the gut, the inflammation and all of that. So there's a couple of things behind that. So I don't want to go too deep into it tonight. Yeah, but the gut is really a main component to overall health. And it's like you always would say, it's a second brain. I always say, it's like the second skin. tell me what's going on in your gut. I can tell you what's happening on your face, you know, and we could work on that. But I love what you just said all about that with the enzymes. And the truth is they helped me a lot. I remember my adrenal numbers being super high. And then when we did the blood
I
work
think they
3
were
months
like
later, it was like,
200.
it was high. I remember it was really,
Yeah,
really
crazy.
high. And yeah, and then it just came down so nicely in 3 months. So, they work,
They do
but
work.
I think,
Enzymes are great. And exactly
no,
what
go
you said,
ahead.
Josephine, that it's so true that just like how you said the digestive enzymes work, that's exactly what they do in other organs. So the way you're like, oh, they go in, they help, that's exactly what they do. Picture that, but in different organs. So the digestive ones, they go more in like the stomach, they go more in the small bowel. That's true for all of the enzymes, but we kind of push them where we want them to go. So for lymphatic system, they go into the clavicle, they go into the lymph where there's lots of aggregates of lymph tissue. So exactly, you're spot on. You mentioned, I don't know if it works that way. It works exactly how you described it. We just can funnel the enzymes to different tissue depending on where someone needs a little bit more help. So the digestive ones, they go right to the digestive organs, but the metabolic enzymes, they go to the metabolism, the lymphatic enzymes. So they all do that. They go in and they do their job, and they're so good at doing their job, and people feel that. A lot of people, when they take enzymes, even just if they're like, I'm going to buy a digestive enzyme, they feel the benefit from it more so than maybe doing like a supplement. So there's so many things
Yeah.
that they're very powerful. Enzymes are very, very powerful.
Yeah, it's great. And for those, if you guys ever have any questions, you're watching this, you can always message Dr. Tursi. I will put her information again in the 3 posts about collagen. She was on each of those posts, so you guys can always just go follow her Instagram. It's at Dr. Dr. Elyse Tursi. So you guys can follow her on Insta there. If you want to, she's always giving out great information for free on her stories. I It was funny because I'll just give everyone a little background. I followed her on Instagram for like 4 months until I made the jump to come in and set up a consultation with you. And it was like the universe spoke to me because you were giving out such amazing information on the thyroid. I was like, this is exactly what I am looking for in someone. And you're so versatile. Like you have so much. So it doesn't, guys, it doesn't be just the thyroid. It's just one of my conditions that I was working on, my issues. But you go into viral load, if you've ever gotten sick with, mono or Epstein-Barr, like there's so many other viral components as to why we get sick and, why our thyroid goes into dysfunction and why all these other things. So if you're looking, when we're done with this, if you guys want to hop on over to her Instagram, go check out her highlights because she has so much information in there that you guys would really benefit from. And then who knows, maybe they can set up, a meeting with you on their own time, which would be wonderful so that you can help them.
I love that, Josephine. And I loved working with you and love working even with you now to this day. But you had so much knowledge coming in, which was great because some people are like, where does the thyroid live? You had so much background, which was really helpful. You were already doing a lot, gluten, dairy, like you were really coming in with a very solid background. And so, I think that there's so many people that would benefit just from all of this, even learning from you, even when you share with them, like, this is really good for your skin. This is really good for your gut. Start somewhere. Like you're educating, you're like a little light in the world, just telling everybody there's options out there.
Thank you.
If you feel deterred, if you feel I don't know where to go. There's so many options out there. And I think with the whole viral load, a little off topic, but people are really starting to see, oh gosh, COVID, whatever your thoughts are around it. I know there's many thoughts, and I know this isn't about, yes, no, up, down, whatever. Conspiracy theorists, call it what you want. But viruses cause problems for people depending on their health. And people are really like, oh, a virus can make someone very sick depending on their health. Who's to say who gets sick? That's the same thing with Epstein-Barr virus, where people, they might get a virus. Who's to say who's going to get sick from it? Who's to say they're going to develop Hashimoto's? We don't know. Everyone's so different. But I think people now, from like a conceptual standpoint, they really are starting to get the picture. Viruses can definitely change the immune system and do some funky things. So I think a lot of people are really interested about that. And, the immune system, 90% of your immunity is in your gut. So collagen, back to that, collagen coming in, it can really support the start of where the healing is in the digestive system. So I love that you had shared that. There's so many ways. I feel like we could talk about this for hours. There's so many cool things,
Yeah.
and there's so many things people want to know about from a holistic perspective, but it's all connected. I guess if someone took home a point today, you're saying, oh, my skin is connected to my gut. Oh, my gut is connected to my liver. Oh, my thyroid talks to my liver. Oh, my thyroid talks to my adrenals. Diet, you brought up something really important, that when we eat a lot of dairy stimulates insulin growth factor, and we typically get acne along the jawline. If we're not pooping, we're not getting rid of estrogen. So now we're bathing in estrogen. Now we have painful breasts. Now we have fibrocystic breasts. Now we have even more hormonal acne along the jaw, all because I'm not pooping. Yes, because you're not getting rid of estrogen. You're stimulating all these things. So there's so many ways, that people can figure out what's happening, but it always goes back to the gut is the point.
It's true. I'm so glad you're saying this too, because I know some people are just like, yeah, but Joe, you're just into makeup. And even though most of the people on here that have been following and found me from YouTube know that I always do a background in what are you eating, because that's like the biggest component for me. But I'm so glad you're saying that, because I live off of that, tell me what you're eating, take a look at what you're eating. But at the same time, be kind to yourself too, and just start in baby steps. It's not good to overwhelm yourself, because then that leads to stress, and then you'll have adrenal issues from getting your food in order. But I do see we have some questions that came in, right, Dr. Tursi? Let's answer those. You want to go right ahead. Any questions, please feel free to just drop them in here. Let me go back.
Okay, so the first one I'm seeing, I don't know how far back they go. It almost looks like we have to scroll, but do you ever hear of collagen injections for the face? Yeah, so a lot of like dermatology procedures, you'll see collagen injections. You'll see them doing all sorts of things with hyaluronic acid, collagen derivatives, peptides, amino acid masks. It's all fancy schmancy stuff. You're better off eating your collagen. You're better off going inside rather than the topical. People spend a lot of money on the topical things and the peptides and the injections and the this, but it's go back to the foundation, go back to the primitive, go back to the basic, because you're better off just getting things from your diet. And that's going to be how you return your skin cells over, through adding the right nutrients in: vitamin C, hydroxyproline, glycine, proline, those amino acids, taking collagen internally. So what do you think about that, though?
I love that.
Josephine, I know you're more in that space of people probably do a lot of like procedures, or maybe they're like,
yeah.
oh, I want this facial. And what are your thoughts around that? Like,
so,
which would you say is more important?
I'm sure there's a lot of estheticians that would probably disagree with me saying this, but I just feel it's just a bunch of fancy schmancy words that they're using. I'm not a fan of facials. Being in the beauty industry with the plastic surgery world, I always felt you got more bang for your buck doing a chemical peel, okay? Because facials are kind of like just this fancy way of sprucing up the skin. When you're looking for collagen regrowth, when you do the peel, that's when they strip the cell, and then it has to reproduce collagen to grow better, to regrow. Now, fast forward, all these years, I wouldn't necessarily do a chemical peel, but I would totally recommend certain essential oils that come in and actually reproduce collagen on the skin topically. Now, internally, I go back to collagen. I also go back to supplementation, obviously things that we just spoke about, but I do find that a lot of that stuff has a lot of chemicals in it, unless you're finding an esthetician or an RN, a nurse that's in the cosmetic industry, but that is doing things more holistically. And they are out there. I haven't found one yet myself, but then that's a different story. Then they may have actual real masks and things that come from certain collagen bases. Then I would say, okay, give it a try. I don't think that that's going to plump you up. It may do it temporarily, maybe for that day, for what you have, or like 48 to 72 hours after. But I don't think it's going to give you the collagen that you need. I think that it really comes in from what you're eating and what you're applying naturally to the skin topically. So like for me, I just did a video a few days ago on frankincense and how it's one essential oil you need in your topical routine, because frankincense actually comes in and destroys a bad cell internally and externally. So it does apoptosis, right? So it hates the cell, it comes in, it destroys it, now a new one regrows. So it does that for your skin. And it's one of the things that I start right out of the gate with anyone when they're starting their skincare journey. So for me, I would rather spend the money on that, and that would be my recommendation, versus, I don't know, going to go get all these treatments and stuff done. Are they nice? Yeah. Are they relaxing? Absolutely. Are they like a nice treat? Yes. But I don't think it's going to give you long-term effects. I think, like what you said, focus on eat your collagen. Eat your collagen. Be mindful of what you're doing every day. Be mindful of your every day. Are you drinking enough water every day? Are you drinking tons of coffee every day? That's dehydrating your skin. That's gonna bring the wrinkles out and the fine lines even more. In addition to everything else. So that's just my stance on it. I don't know.
No,
Not
I love
everyone
it.
will agree.
I'm all about, I agree with that totally. I think if you can do things that are more sustainable for you, that takes reliance off other people. You can drink a lot of fluid. You can have your water. I agree with that entirely, rather than like a quick, what's the one thing that's going to be like, where's my Harry Potter's magic wand? It doesn't work that way. If you want long-term results, it's going to be a little bit of effort. It's going to be a little bit of proactivity. It's going to be a routine, getting structured, getting very consistent with topicals, like the oils. And someone actually asked that. I don't know if that would be the same thing. I know you mentioned frankincense for apoptosis and getting rid of like damage, but someone asked what essential oils help with collagen production topically.
They just asked that in here too, but
Yeah.
someone had said it here. Oh, sure. Okay, let me see. I'm just gonna lift this up here.
Yeah, that's a really good
Jen.
question.
Okay, I know who it is. Okay,
I don't know that
so
one. I'm not an oil person. Josephine's
yeah,
teaching me all about the oils now. I have no clue.
helps with collagen production topically. So first line of defense is always frankincense, because that's what it's going to do. Now, you don't want to just use any frankincense on the market, because there's a lot of synthetics in the essential oils on the market today. So I never tell anyone, oh, go to Bed Bath & Beyond or go to the vitamin shop and get you guys. I have a whole highlight on this. I have a bunch of information on, I like doTERRA. It's worked for me for 5 years. I've done my research on it, and the ethics behind the company is very important for me. And I also know where they're sourcing it. So that is a big, big factor, because you guys can get any type of essential oil. And did I lose you guys? Because I see my thing moving over here. Just want to make sure I'm not losing anyone.
I see you.
Am I still there? Okay. So
Can you hear me okay,
again,
Scott?
yes. And then we also have another oil, which is called Yarrow Palm. So Yarrow Palm is yarrow seed and pomegranate seed, and it's very high in vitamin C. Okay, it's higher in vitamin C than vitamin C essential oil, that vitamin C topical skincare oil that you can find with other brands. I'm not going to name any because there's so many on the market, but it has such a high antioxidant support. So what it does is it comes in, it gives you the moisture, and then it gives you the C, and then it gives you the collagen reproduction. So there's like a double whammy there. But always right out of the gate, it's frankincense, because that's really going to be your anti-aging component to your skincare routine. And these are things that I'll teach you guys as I go along as well. I have a bunch of highlights on it too.
That's great. That's helpful too. I know we're going to be working together with some oil stuff. I want to really get comfortable using some of them, and that's helpful to know too. So maybe I need put that on my to-do list. I need some frankincense and Yarrow Palm.
We will work on some stuff after you read the email that I sent you. Like just brief, go over it, and then we could touch base on that. And then I know that someone else mentioned
all of them. There's so many.
You will get addicted. My people on here will say, you start with one or two, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I really love that. You'll have your own wow factor moment, and then that'll be your breaking point for you. And you're just like, wow, I can't believe I just saw like these results. Like, I can't believe that this happened. And then from there, I'm not a pushy person. I like to help you where you're at, what you want, and let's focus on that. And then if we need to work on whatever else it is, then I could come in and help you with that. But yeah, there's a whole world out there of what essential is, and we can actually do a topic on that.
There's so much knowledge around it. It's really an art. It's really people that are in that realm. They really study that stuff and they know it. And you have to, because there's so many products out there.
Yeah. And someone else, Yes.
I know. I think our audit is a little off, but someone's asking, is it better to consume collagen on an empty stomach and not combining it with vegan protein in a protein shake? So that's a good question. So the renal threshold of protein is about 35 grams per item, if you will, or per meal, which just means that your kidney, after you've consumed 35 grams, you're just excreting it out. You're not really going to be using the protein. Sometimes it gets stored if it's too much coming in. Sometimes we just excrete it out. So I wouldn't use things that are more than 35 grams of protein per meal. So if you did, for example, how you had suggested your collagen had 18, plus if you have a protein shake, let's just call it a vegan protein shake. So you might be getting 17 to 18 grams. That's a lot. That's, almost close to about 38, 40 grams of protein. I don't think you need that much in one time. You do need protein, but I think the better way to do it is space it throughout the day. So I would say, if possible, have your collagen in your coffee, if possible. If you're going to be cooking with it, use it. But you don't need to add collagen with the protein shake together, because now you're at a lot of protein at once. And you don't absorb, like I said, as much when you go above a certain number. Typically, like I said, the kidney can only process about 35 grams per each session or per each meal, if you will. So I would
like
say
that you said that, 30.
Yeah, it's helpful to know, because I know a lot of people, they put collagen in their protein shake. You could do that, but you would do less protein powder. So if I do collagen in my shake, like a full scoop, I'll do half a scoop of protein powder. I don't need one full scoop of protein powder, one full scoop of collagen. It's just like, too much. Then I add my almond butter with more protein. Now you're at 45 grams. Space it out. There's a little bit more benefit. You'll gain more benefits to it. You'll find your skin is more elastic over time from spacing it out, rather than just saturating your system at one time.
Great. And I have a question. How much protein do you think females should be eating per day? Like, what's an adequate amount?
80 grams minimum. If you are just an active female, you're alive, you're just a living, breathing female, 80 grams of protein, typically for an adult woman. Children are different. They don't need 80 grams of protein, but that would be minimum. That's just someone that's menstruating, that's living, that's breathing. If you are doing things like exercise, you're going to go up a little bit. So your protein intake is going to go up. Typically, they say about 1 pound of protein per pound of body weight, lean body tissue. So for example, my protein intake, I aim for it. I don't always get there. This is just to give you a little bit of like conceptual. I aim for about 125 to 135 grams per day. That's because I'm trying to, build muscle and I'm working out in the gym. But for someone that's just like, I know I need protein for my hormone systems. I know I need protein for my period, menstruation. I know I need protein so that I'm not super anxious. I know I need protein to grow my hair, skin, nails, 80 grams on the minimum.
Sorry, I'm just moving this away for us. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, great. She said I will mix. Okay. And in case I have any males on here watching, because I know there's plenty of males that are into their skincare. What is your protein intake, or even for anybody that has a spouse or a significant other or a family member, what's a minimum for males? Like just the average male, not working out, just every day to day. What should be their protein intake?
That would be like 125 grams. They can go a little higher, but they have a metabolic need. So I think, like I said before, people have this preconceived notion, protein's only for bodybuilders, right? No, protein is for everybody. Protein is hair, it's skin, it's nails. Collagen is protein. Collagen is protein. If you're menstruating, if you want to repair, if you have an injury, if you fractured your knee, if you have osteoarthritis, those levels go up. So there is a basic metabolic, I would call it 80 for females, 125 for males on the minimum. Can you go higher? Definitely, depending on your specific metabolic needs and what's going on for you. High protein diets are very conducive to weight loss. So people that want to lose weight, they want to be eating protein. It takes the cravings off the carbohydrates, and it doesn't stimulate the pancreas, which spews insulin. And then we get skin things too. So a lot of times that's why sugar causes pimples. It's increasing your insulin. Insulin is very anabolic to the skin. So I digress. I'm going off a little bit on that, but those are the numbers
That's
I would
okay.
suggest for male.
That's great. All right. So this is really good information. I think we covered a lot tonight. Like this was a lot. I know
We
we
did
were
a
like,
full
oh, we'll
hour.
keep, I know. I was like, we'll keep it at 30 minutes. I think we'll be perfect. And I knew it. I said, watch, we're going to start talking, her and I, and we're not going to stop.
We probably could talk for another 4 hours, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. But before we sign off, I know that we have a few people left on. If anybody has questions, please feel free to ask now. If for those of you that are catching the recording, you can ask a question at any time. We will get back to you. And Dr. Tursi, would you like to end the video with any information that you think would be important for them? And then you can also say where they can follow you or check out your website, you know, whatever.
I think that was it. I think we covered a lot of the topic for tonight. I could always talk about anything. So if you guys have comments or you want to learn more about something and you want, you know, me and Josephine to get on another topic, maybe Josephine, we could share with them about the adrenal glands. We're always willing to talk about things. So if you guys have any topics you want to learn about, please let us know. We'd be happy, I'm sure, to do another segment together. But I'm myself on all platforms, so you can search for me on YouTube, on Facebook. My website is just me, so Dr. Tursi on Facebook, Dr. Tursi on Instagram, drtursi.com. I'm just myself on all platforms. So if you're looking for a little bit more information, you can search for me on those platforms. And really, I'm just here to support you. So I don't think I have anything in particular to share with you guys except all the stuff that we shared. But if you do have questions about a topic or want to know a little bit more about whatever, please connect. I would be happy to support you. And if I'm not the right person, I can certainly share with you some of my colleagues and peers that might be able to support you for whatever you're dealing with from a health perspective, all holistic. That's really what I look for. So if you're someone that's like, I'm looking for pharmaceuticals, I have people call and they're like, are you going to give me blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, I'm not the person for you. I don't do that. So if you're looking for like a quick fix, I'm not the right person for you. But if you're looking for long-term sustainable root cause, you know, empowering medicine where you learn what to do so that when I'm not with you, you're like, I remember that thing, then I would be really up your alley.
Yeah, which you will. You certainly will. They're gonna love working with you. That's for sure. So this is great. So all right. So then we're gonna end it. I really want to thank everyone that tuned in tonight. If you're catching the recording, just know that you can leave a comment. We will get back to you right away. Dr. Tursi, thank you so much for being on here with me tonight. I am so excited for everyone to watch the replay as well. I mean, this was just a wealth of information, and they said you are you are up my alley.
She's a patient, Carrie. Hi, Carrie. You made it after swim. I'm so happy. You are up my alley.
Hi, Carrie.
Carrie, meet Josephine. She's wonderful with oils. You guys actually I want to connect you guys because you guys would really get along. I have to plan all of us in the office at the same time. She's wonderful. Yeah. She's wonderful. So
yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you guys
so much. Thanks, Josephine, so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here and to share.
My pleasure. It was an honor. It was an honor to have you here. Soon. We will. We'll get some other topics. If anybody has something else that you're interested in that we can collaborate together and educate all of you on here on my platform, please let me know, and vice versa. And then we will work on that for you guys. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in. Bye, Josephine.
Take care. Bye, Dr. Tursi. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.